Welcome to another edition of the Harmon Solar Podcast. My name is Ralph Romano, VP of Sales and Marketing at Harmon Solar. And with me is my co-host, as always, Ben Wolschlager. You guys also know him as Mr. Everything.
That's right.
Mr. Everything, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a few days.
It's been a couple days.
It's been a few days. So
Yeah.
I noticed you have a little noggin on your head.
Yeah,
there.
I know. I was helping someone move and cut my head. So if you need help, Harmon Solar can help you move.
You know,
No, we can't.
you made it, so that's good. Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll see how your consciousness is today.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I know. We'll always find out. So what are we talking about today?
So going back to the whole timeline of events, you research solar and you think, okay, I think it's for me.
Mm-hmm.
You picked out a couple companies. You had your sales consultation. You found a company. You got it installed, or you got it installed,
Right.
and now your system is up and running. Everything's great. But then what happens? It's an electrical device on your roof. It's going to break.
It is?
It's
Something can happen.
It can happen. I always tell people, like my customers, you have this big electrical device on your roof.
Right.
It could break day one, or it could break day 1 million.
Yeah.
But sometime during that period, it might break. So you just need to be prepared.
Okay. So what do we do about it? I mean, we have a...
Call someone else. I don't know.
So Harmon has a service department.
We do, and that's interesting because not a lot of. I mean, there are companies that have service departments, but there are some solar companies that don't have service departments.
That's true.
I found this out. Like, wow.
Well, like we talked about in the last podcast, right? There are some companies that are just sales companies.
Yeah.
And then there's us, and we're a full service EPC, which means not only do we sell, not only do we install, but we also service and help maintain.
Yeah.
So that we're the full boat, right?
We're everything.
So with that, we have a service department, and we wanted to bring in the head of our service department, our service manager, Larry Aegerter, is who we're going to bring on the show today. So let's go ahead and bring him in. And there he is.
Hello, Larry.
Hello, Ben. It's actually Aegerter, not Aegerter. Yeah.
Okay.
You said,
I'm just checking.
oh my gosh,
This whole time, all these years.
How do you say it? How do you say it?
I don't know.
Aegerter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On that note,
Yes.
and that's our show.
Yeah, that's the end of our show.
Speaking of
today.
names, I have a question.
Oh, wow. Can ask us questions.
Yeah, real quick.
He's the host of the show now.
Mr. Everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of
apparently.
wide brushes, how did you get that title?
I think it was kind of given to me. I guess I didn't choose it. It's not on my business card.
Okay.
I think it's because
By who? Anybody with credentials?
Oh, geez.
I mean, well,
Well, when we started this podcast last year, he came in here saying he did everything.
Yeah.
And
okay.
he would talk about how he
Yeah.
did this and he did that and he did this.
Yeah.
So it became Mr. Everything.
because you know how some people like in their careers, like they'll move to a
Yeah.
different department.
Yeah.
I've moved to different departments, but at the same time, I'm still doing a lot of the other things that I was doing before. So
I got you.
What
Okay.
I'm hearing is, so this is very interesting. This might
Can I,
be a-
I'm
this
going
might
to
be
start.
a
Can I
be-
call him Mr. Some Stuff?
some stuff? This could be a
Mr.
better
Few things.
podcast than we thought,
Yeah,
right?
something.
keep
okay.
it up. I'll take your
Yeah,
stuff.
what
You're,
were you
you're
saying?
somebody that's internal that actually knows Ben, so maybe he's not Mr. Everything.
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Nice guy.
That's what his wife says when I talk about him. He has a
Yeah.
great personality, and then
right.
she stops.
Yeah, that's about it. Set the bar low.
We have hallway conversations. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow. Hallway conversations.
I've got people coming in my office all the time. Larry's not one of them. Just passes by the hallway. And
Just walking by. Yeah,
walking
yeah.
away.
All right, so
So we are going to talk about service.
let's get back on track.
Yeah. What do you got?
So Larry, besides what you know about Ben, how long you been at Harmon?
14. This is my 14th year.
So he's actually been there longer than me.
Yeah.
On his 14th year. I'm on my 12th year. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, 2010.
wow. 2010. Wow.
The math
Couldn't
checks
find,
out.
couldn't find anything
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
Or
What's that?
couldn't find anything else? Or?
Not at the time. No. That was right after that whole economy dump.
Well, let's go into history because that was before you. It was before me. What was Harmon like back in 2010?
We were in a different spot. That's for sure. It was interesting. We were like over on 15th Avenue.
That's right. You guys
Yeah.
are in a different location.
Yeah. It was a lot smaller warehouses, and it was a big move where we are now. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And your team was a lot smaller, but we'll talk about that.
We didn't have a team.
You didn't have a team. That's
It was a lot smaller.
So they were
Yeah.
at zero.
They were at zero. We do anything better than zero is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, depending. All right, so unless you're playing golf. So what did you do before? Like, so go back to 2009, 8. What were you doing?
Oh, I was a land surveyor, so I already kind of worked in the sun a lot. I was out there mapping out like grid lines and stuff, property corners and stuff. And then when that work stopped and people weren't hiring surveyors anymore, Steve Thomas brought me on to Harmon. He already worked here, and he's the one that taught me everything I know. And since then, I just started installing. I was part-time for a long time. Then I became full-time. Started installing and just moved my ranks up from there, installing to quality assurance manager. And then I went to commercial project managing for a little bit, and then QA QC, and then into the service department. We were a service department without actually having a service department for a long time. So
Oh, you were a commercial PM?
yeah,
Wow, that's my job.
that's why I know you don't do much.
There it is. I just kind of scoop by.
yeah.
So you've done a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mr. Everything 2.0 over here.
Yeah.
He might be 1.0.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be
2.0 is better.
Is it?
Yeah, right?
That's true. 1.0
Okay.
is always flawed.
All right. All right.
All right. Well,
You're 0.5.
Thank you.
so your role today, you're the service manager.
Yes.
What does that mean? Tell us about
I'm
your
actually a
job.
co-service manager with Beth Butts in the office. I am like the manager with the technicians for all the knowledge of how to do the fixes in the field and what we need to do out there.
Okay.
So I've got 6, 7 guys right now. I'm losing a good one. He's moving back to New Mexico. But yeah, we have a bunch of guys out there, a bunch of trucks, and we're busy all the time.
Yeah.
So this may be the dumbest question in the world.
Sounds about right.
So why don't you ask it?
There it is.
Well, before we get to that dumb question, so you said you and Beth, you guys kind of both run the department.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming that she kind of handles all the inside business.
Yes.
And you handle all the outside
Yeah,
business.
they bring the intake, any call-ins, or leasing company call-ins, work orders. They get them, they process all of them. Just like if someone were to call in, if someone has something wrong, it's not even our install. Call in, they'll talk to any of those 3 people. We have Jonathan, Ellen, and Yvonne. And then they will make a work order, they'll hand it off to Beth, and then Beth actually schedules it for me and my teams.
Okay.
So we actually get calls from customers. We get calls from different companies, leasing companies, like you just mentioned,
Yeah.
other companies, other installers.
Yeah.
Major national installers.
Yeah. We get calls for people that buy houses that they never had solar, just to kind of go over and inspect it, which is a good thing because they don't know. And if they never had solar before, this gives us an opportunity to like educate them on how it works,
Right.
And tell them like, well, this is what it's going to do, and it's all about how you live with your energy and your bill and stuff.
Yeah, because 99% of the time, the real estate agent selling the home, he's like,
They have no idea.
yeah, that's a solar system, and I have no idea what it is, what it's doing, if it's working.
I was going to go into that later because you're saying new owners that don't have, they just bought a home that had solar.
Right.
So
We get it all the time.
That's a service that we actually have. I was going to wait till later, but you already jumped into it, so let's go there.
You want me to just run this? Okay.
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, we actually, just like when you buy a home and you get a home inspection, we actually offer a solar inspection to the real estate agencies, to the homeowner, to the person buying the home, where we will go out there and completely inspect the place.
Yes.
And then we'll give you a full-on report about how the system's performing.
Yeah, if there's any deficiencies, like stuff that we really absolutely need to fix right now, like it's not working 100%, and so they can actually, a lot of times they call us, and they need this inspection like right now because they're gonna close in like 2 days, and it's very hard. But we always try to move things around and try to make it work for them. But if we get out there and inspect it and say one string's down on a system and they don't even know, and we'll put it in a report, and if our guy can if he can fix it on site, I tell him to fix it, and we'll worry about the money later because they have to get that like fixed for the sale within like a day or 2 to close.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
So this is a good point. If you're a real estate agent, you're watching, if you're selling a home, if you're buying a home and there's solar involved, you can actually call us and we can provide you really good report that you could then use through the escrow process, because these are going to become more and more needed now as we get into more and more homes having solar. This is a big deal, and there's not really any companies that I know of. A couple companies that are doing it, but we've been doing it for a little while now.
Yeah, you do the same thing with all the other items in your home. If you're buying a home that has a pool, you're going to get that pool inspected to make sure the pump's running.
Right.
Make sure the AC is running, and if it's not, then you know who to call and what to do. So if you have a solar system on the home that you're buying, you better know what it is, if it's working, how it's working. So,
and while our guy's up there, he can also identify if anything like the roofer missed, like we see broken tiles. We can put that into our report and everything.
Nice. And even if you're not buying a home or selling a home and you just want to know how your system's doing, maybe you feel like, I'm not sure if it's working 100%. You could actually
give Larry a call.
We can call the service department, not Larry.
Don't call me directly.
Put his number up.
We'll put his number.
Let's put Ralph's number up there. Yeah.
But you can call our service department, and we actually will do that for you. So it's a great service to have that I don't think it's really out there that much. So.
And if you call in right now, get your number up there. Yeah.
The next 10 callers.
All right. So you kind of totally threw me to the back of the. Okay, but anyway. So we kind of talked about how you're set up. You're handling the outside. Beth is handling the inside. So her team is basically a customer. let's say we have somebody, and I know we get a lot of calls from people that we didn't install.
Right.
We get a lot. So I want to go back to that real quick. People that we didn't install call us a lot for work. National companies that have customers that have issues give us a call to handle work for them as well.
Well,
We
a lot
do
of people, they have systems that their installer's not even around anymore.
Yeah.
They have no place to
that
go.
too. So yeah, so there's that also.
Yeah.
I've seen those emails.
The out of business installers, but the in business national installers, the big ones, we work with them.
Yeah.
So we're not just handling Harmon customers, we're handling a ton of different people.
Yeah, we even get it on the commercial side. People buy new commercial buildings and there's solar on it, and they have no idea how it's working, if it's working or anything. We do commercial and everything.
Okay.
I'm usually the one on the commercial ones.
Okay.
That's the fun one.
And Ben, because he knows everything.
I know everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do this whole podcast myself.
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
This is going in a totally different direction.
I don't even know he's here. Like,
know,
I'm
right?
talking to you.
That's fine. I'll just sit here quietly.
That'll never happen.
This is the best podcast ever then.
So what I want to do,
I don't even want you to talk.
That's okay. We're going to edit all this out.
jeez,
I don't want to edit this out.
I'm not editing any of this out.
Good.
So the one other thing what we've done, like Ben was saying before, is we've basically shared the process with people from beginning to end, from the point where they're looking from solar to the point where it gets turned on. We've gone through that entire process in like about 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Right. So we've done that. And to his point, now I've got solar and something's going on. They're going to call your department. They're going to call Beth's team.
Your best team, yeah.
And they're going to say, "Let's talk to Jonathan. Jonathan's great. Jonathan's just got a great voice. He should be on the radio. Right? He's a good guy."
Yeah.
Say something. Totally can see
As
that.
soon as I come in the warehouse, I can hear Jonathan.
Yeah. He looks like Jason Kelsey, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time in the office. Now,
Is this
now
a
you
sports
know.
reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Well,
no idea. So you're going to call our team. You give us our team a call, and they're going to get the information from you. They're going to figure out, try to help you. If it's something they can talk through and try to figure out, they're going to. Typically, that's not going to happen. They're going to need to go ahead and send a truck out.
Right, yeah.
Right. So that team, I assume, would then put something into the system that says, "Hey, we need to have a truck roll out to this address," and that goes to you and your team.
Yes. It comes to our guys. Yeah, we get calls. We have like 5-6 calls a day, depending on how long each call is. And we just have it on our phone apps. It tells us where to go and everything.
And your guys you're going out there, right? And you're meeting the customer,
Yep.
and
A lot of times the customers sometimes won't be home. A lot of times, sometimes.
do they need to be home?
They don't if all the equipment's accessible. I thought you were laughing.
no.
No, like if
Yeah.
the equipment's in the garage, that's a problem because we need to
Right.
get to the equipment. Yeah. I mean, we can look at stuff on the roof, but that doesn't get us much.
Majority of the installs now, we have all the equipment outside. And we don't necessarily have to go inside for most part. So,
But there's
There's a lot of
millions
inverters
of
in the-
installs.
and there's a lot of inverters in the garage.
that's true. A lot of
Mine
the older
are, yeah.
ones, the older
Mine are
ones.
too.
Yeah.
So they're most likely going to have to be home. It's probably
Where's
better
your
if they're
inverters
home.
at?
They're on Ralph's house right now.
I was going to say, you don't have any.
I don't have any.
Mine are in the garage. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I know where I was going. I want you to give me an idea of what are the most common things that you typically go on a call on. What kind of things do you get called about?
A lot of it's monitoring. That goes into just if someone has their system hooked up through Wi-Fi. If people forget if they get a new router or they change their Wi-Fi password, the equipment is on Wi-Fi, so it needs to be reprogrammed too. Whenever we fix it, I try to walk them through. Like if this make a note for yourself. Like if you change Wi-Fi, make sure you got to change your inverter.
I feel like just from looking at your face that this is like the number one issue.
Oh, it's a lot of the times. Yeah. I mean, it's equal. I mean, we still get like a lot of string down equipment failures because we have so many inverters out there that are out of warranty and they're just dying now. So we got to get another inverter manufacturer because the old ones aren't available anymore. So we got to get newer stuff like Fronius, SMA, Tygo, all the new inverters we put in. We just got to size it according to the system they have, and then put in a new inverter.
So we can put a newer type inverter on an older system.
yeah, string inverters. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Did not know that.
And when we say monitoring, that's separate from actual production. This is kind of we all know it, but customers, they kind of link the two together, and they're actually not really that much linked together. I always tell people monitoring is like your speedometer in your car. If you're driving down the freeway and your speedometer is broken and it reads 0, doesn't mean your car is going 0. It's just the monitoring aspect of your car is reading 0. So a lot of times people will call in, they'll say, "Oh, my system's down, it's broken," and we just no, just your monitoring is down. Your system's still producing, just the monitoring aspect.
Yeah,
of
they
your
think
system
it's not
is down.
going to the equipment or the utility company.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's no production being like, no, monitoring and production are separate.
I usually tell
in this case.
people it's like just a window to what your system uses.
Yeah.
Like it gives you it's a window online just to show you what it's doing. It's still working electrically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's just the monitoring that just goes down. Because like you said, they changed their Wi-Fi.
But it is
password
important
or
though,
router
because
and things
monitoring,
like
if
that.
something happens, it's supposed to be set up to actually send you an alert.
Right.
In some cases, Solar Edge, if it's not online, sometimes they won't warranty their equipment until they can see it. Enphase is very similar to that too. Unless they can see what it's actually doing, they won't warranty it. So it's very important on some aspects.
So make sure if you're changing your router to make sure that it's whatever you're talking monitoring is updated.
Yeah, it all depends on the equipment. There's a big wide range. I mean, some of it uses Wi-Fi, some of it's hardlined. It depends on how it's set up. But yeah,
Right.
it's a good, anything like kind of newer. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't most of the newer stuff set up Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of older stuff that we did hardwiring. I remember that. We used to do that a lot.
Oh yeah, the SMA web boxes and everything.
Right. But everything typically today is Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And it also has to be on a 2.4 gigahertz signal because it doesn't work off 5G. Almost everything inverter related is 2.4.
Do you have to have Wi-Fi to get solar?
No,
Okay.
you do not need Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It will work without like being on the monitoring side. Electrically, the solar will still work. It's
Right.
just some aspects of it. You need the manufacturer needs to see what it's doing before they warranty any parts, specific parts.
It just needs to be able to communicate.
Yeah, and it's helpful for the customer because everything's app based now, especially in newer systems. But yeah.
Okay.
What if I live up north somewhere where there's no Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you can get cellular plugins for certain things. Yes, Enphase has cellular options. Yes, I believe SMA does, but it's limited because it depends on the carrier. So
Okay.
But it is an option. Besides monitoring, what other things do you actually typically see calls come in for? Like, what are the most common things?
a lot of people can call in if they think the system's not working right. Because in essence, if they don't know what it should be producing and they're just getting a higher bill, sometimes they'll ask us to look at their bill for them,
Right.
which we can do.
So let's talk about that. So that used to be Ben's role, as I can see your face.
Yeah, I'm looking
now.
right at him right
go
now.
ahead.
So that used to be Ben's role.
Yeah.
You guys took that on like about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Now that you've taken that role on,
Yes.
what are you seeing with people? So are there some typical things that always happen? Like, well, no, the system's working. You're just using more power. Or, I mean, are you seeing different things?
That's the majority of it. Just people aren't aware that they're using more power. If they get new equipment, maybe they get a spa and they didn't realize how much it's going to pull.
Nothing's changed in my lifestyle other
Yeah.
than 10 people now live here. I've
Are
got
you
4
mocking
electric
our
cars.
customers?
Just saying, this is from experience.
But you gave them a voice.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
when you guys are doing, so I'm going to talk both of you. When you guys do this for customers,
Mm-hmm.
what percentage of them actually come back where there's actually a system issue?
I actually haven't had one where I calculated where I had an actual system issue yet.
Yeah, when it does happen, it's usually very minor. Like we'll notice, because we looked into it, your production is a little bit lower than the guarantee that was on your contract, and we spotted the issue. It's this panel's down, and we have to swap it out, or we have to do whatever service does to get it up and running. But it's very rare that it's something mechanical that has happened.
Okay. That's a great question. People always ask this about panels. How often? You've been doing this forever. How many times have you actually seen a panel on a house go down?
We're seeing a lot more of the older stuff. And unfortunately, like Conergy's not around anymore. We try to, if we find any old mods that aren't working right, we'll try to find if we can get the original manufacturer's information and try to process through warranty if they're still under warranty. Because I don't remember exactly the year, but you got to call the manufacturer because it changes on all of them.
Right. Okay.
But if it's not in warranty and it's just burned through or something, it's just not letting voltage through, we can just get a newer modules. We can have our design team look at it, and we'll make sure it matches with the system, and we can add mods to the system, and it all still work as good or better.
So you're seeing more of that now with the older stuff.
Yeah,
Because
older
now that
stuff,
we're 2024, people started this around 2008 was when it really started going.
20-year warranties. It's getting to the end of that warranty period.
And a lot of those back in the day, they only had 10-year warranties or 12-year warranties. So that's why you're saying a lot of them out of warranty. Now everything's about 25.
A lot of them, like if it's a leased system, a 20-year lease, so yeah, they're still under warranty.
Right.
And if we can't get that facilitated, either the leasing company will actually just have to replace the equipment, or they'll just tell us to buy new mods and design it.
Right. The good thing about the mods today is they all come with a 25-year pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there are some leasing companies that don't even exist anymore. So
Correct.
I could think of a couple right off the bat, but okay. That's interesting. So when something is under so you go out to the house and you find something that's under manufacturer warranty. What do you have to do? Do you have to stop, then contact the manufacturer, get some kind
we
of a
call
ticket?
them on site and everything. Yeah, we'll call whatever it is, Fronius, SMA, Enphase, on site, start the warranty claim, get a case started, and then we pass all this information onto our office, and they follow up with that case constantly until we get the equipment in, and then we'll schedule it and come back out. And
So at
replace
that
it.
point, we can't do anything else. We have to wait for them to send us a new piece.
Yeah.
Right.
Typically, they tell us 5 to 10 business days, but it can be longer. Specific manufacturers like ABB, they're like a couple months backlogged on their equipment.
It's a good thing we don't use ABB anymore. We haven't used ABB in years, but I remember.
But
that
it's just
stuff.
warranty stuff. They can't even get their equipment to us.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing that with like Enphase or the bigger companies now.
No,
we don't
no,
have
no.
that issue. But you're bringing up the old industry.
Yeah,
that's how it was.
That's
I
why it's
remember.
kind of hard for my department too, is hiring guys. I can't just get somebody that barely knows how to install. Like you have to actually know how to install before you can actually know how a system's not working right.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know. I've been doing it for so long. I got great guys. I'm teaching them stuff that I know, and they're teaching me stuff that they find out with all some of the new stuff. But yeah, I got a great group of guys out there that take care of all that.
Yeah, so that's something else to consider when you are shopping for solar. You know, not only the equipment and the warranties, you might want to ask, your sales rep that has the service department that what's it going to be like if something goes down? Am I going to be my system's going to be down for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month?
Well, by that time,
how long is that
a lot
gonna
of
happen
times we
with the
get
warranty?
people that call us and it's already been broken. They didn't know until they get a big bill.
Yeah.
And then they call us. Unfortunately, if it's like a cold call, it's fine. We can get out there pretty quickly. But a lot of times we're forced to, if it's a lease, they have to call their leasing company. And so then the leasing company has to send us a work order because the leasing company owns it. So we can't just go for the customer.
Right.
So that's a really good point we need to hit on. So if you have a lease, you don't own that system. You obviously hopefully know that. And we can't do anything without the owner of that system giving us the okay to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And that could take time.
Yeah, very rarely we'll have a good enough relationship with a leasing company. We're like, yeah, we can just dispatch. We know we can get a work order later if it's like something that's severe or I mean, obviously a safety issue, absolutely. But if it's something that we know that we've been to this house before for some reason and something happened, and yeah, we can get back out knowing we have a history with that leasing company.
It's good to know.
Do you guys offer any type of extended warranty plans or anything like that from your department?
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while. If we could, like, especially a lot of our old installs from 08 and whenever we started, we could come out and inspect the system, bring it up to date, torque everything back down, make sure you got voltage on all the system, everything's working right. But yeah, we can come out, inspect it, and then we can actually provide a warranty for that inspection for what we installed way back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So if you're if getting towards the end of your warranty and you want to,
Well, a lot of them are going to be
Extended,
out,
yeah.
especially a workmanship warranty. We don't have that for 10 years. It's a 5-year workmanship warranty.
We have
I
10
believe.
now.
We have
10
10.
we?
Yeah.
Wow, they changed it on me.
Yeah, they changed it.
yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, anybody that was back then, it's
gone.
It was a 5.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
Yeah.
So we could actually go out there and do that kind of inspection. So you guys offer an inspection service different from what we were talking about before, where you guys can do what you need to, like you just said, torque stuff down, do whatever it is you do, and then offer us some kind of an extended warranty on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would, if you've had solar on your house for a while, I would absolutely recommend doing that.
Yeah,
I think I need to do that.
check on your
I
warranties.
just still
make
need
sure
to do
they're-
it on mine too.
I didn't know we had that. Mine's been up for like 6 years. I should
Yeah,
probably have
we've
looked
been
at it.
working on it with Dan for a
You should
while.
call Harmon.
I should call Harmon. All right. Well, good to know. So you said that you also do some commercial stuff as well in service?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of old systems out there. I mean, buildings also changed hands a lot.
Right.
So, yeah, even some of our old installs we still do O&Ms for. But yeah, we do commercial.
So that's true, right? So some of the commercial stuff, they get a few year O&M. Typically, it's a 1 year O&M. Some of them will go longer, or they could be year to year O&Ms.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
What is an O&M? What does that mean?
Operations and maintenance.
Operations and maintenance. So
we just come
basically,
out, check everything.
so kind of the stuff we were just talking about on the residential side, but we actually do sell that on the commercial side. That I do
Yeah,
know. It's
I
part,
mean,
it's part of the deals typically.
We're only going to be able to access stuff that's accessible to us. Anything APS locked out, we can't get in and torque and everything, obviously. But yeah, we'll go through the whole system, make sure everything's good and working.
Do you do any work for the utility?
Yeah, we do work for the utility all the time. Yeah, we service a lot of their plants in Gila Bend. That's actually where Steve Thomas is. So He's the guy that trained me.
Do you ever work on solar farms?
Yeah, that's the ones we're working on out there in Gila Bend. We do the maintenance for that, for some of their tracking systems. Anything they need anywhere. Well, we do residential and commercial for APS all the time.
Nice.
Okay. So you mentioned when you first got here that Steve Thomas was the guy that taught you everything that you know.
Yes, yeah. Steve was the guy that brought me in and showed me how everything works. And, he actually was one of the first guys that watching him with the customers actually instilled it on me to act like when I go to a house, I'm taking care of it like if I was the homeowner and what my service manager, or not manager, but service tech was going to do and what he found and everything. And I try to instill that with a lot of my guys, and my guys are great. It's like I had a guy a couple years ago came in. His name was Nick Bucky. And he didn't know anything. I had to start from scratch with him. Like, he didn't even know how electricity, in the panel worked. It was great. But he came a long way, and he's out there with Steve, too.
So he went from not knowing what a service panel is or what electricity is, except maybe something you plug in the wall,
Right.
to now he's actually working on this stuff.
Yeah, I taught him everything. And he moved up, and he got moved on, and he's out there working in the plants with
So he owes his
Steve.
career to you.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That's, well, Nick, you should be thankful to him.
Look
Might
at
want to
you.
give him a call.
Yeah.
With all the jobs that you've gone out on, I know you do you go out on a lot of work that we don't do as Harmon. That's other installers that are doing it. And we've talked in this podcast multiple times about the inferior equipment some of these companies use, like tile hooks and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see a lot where tile hooks fail, panels go flying, just bad installs that we run into and go, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened, but we fix it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had systems that homeowners actually have built on their houses.
Really?
Yeah. And it was, at the time, it lasted as long as it could, and it flipped all the way over, and we had to get out there and dispatch and dismantle the whole thing. And they ran it through a homeowner's insurance, something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, dismantle it, make it safe, get it all down. Then to put it all back up, we have to redesign the system properly, and put all the right equipment in.
So we've had to fix things for homeowner installs, for other companies that have done bad installs. I mean, that's part of what you guys are doing on a daily basis.
Oh, all the time.
I know
we always get the bad news.
Yeah. That goes back to the saying like, oh, I got a guy that can do it for me much cheaper. Well,
Yeah.
Another thing that I know we've done a lot of work on lately, and we were kind of talking about this before the podcast, is we get a lot of R&R work.
Yeah. Removal reinstalls.
So yeah, what I mean by that is people that are going to do re-roofs,
Yes.
right? And then you guys go out there and take all the panels off, take all the stuff off. Then the roofer comes and they do the roof work, and then you come back and do it all, right?
We reinstall it with the right stuff.
What does it take? How long does it
we
take you
update
to
the stuff too.
How long
yeah.
does it take you to take that stuff out?
It depends on the size of the system. But our
Average.
guys, we could take it down in probably 2 to 3 hours, if not even faster.
When we put it back on, what are you putting new? What are you replacing?
We're doing new stanchions because we can verify that it's not going to leak. It actually is going to keep the roofer's warranty too, with our roofers doing it. And then we could do new stanchions. So most of the time we can reuse the rail. Beth always just sends it to me if the rail's reusable. But if we can't, we'll just get new rail and then all new mids and ends and get it all secured.
Okay, so that's one of the bigger services that we offer. I'd say you probably do that a lot, from what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
And then a lot of
a lot of it too is troubleshooting things that the homeowner will call or email in and say like, I think my system is down. We take a look and we're like, no, it's not down. Or if it's just a monitoring issue, it's a quick
Could be
fix.
shade.
Could be shade.
A lot of times a tree will get bigger and someone doesn't realize it. We're that's your problem.
I can think of a recent one where it was kind of baffling us because we're like, okay, yeah, these panels aren't producing as much anymore. We're looking at the plans, like what the proposal, what was sold. There was no tree before, and then we're like, let's take a look at recent Google images and see like, oh, your neighbor planted a tree. Yeah, like okay, so everything's working fine. Your neighbor just decided to plant a 20-foot tree, and now that's shading your panels.
Yeah, I mean the older systems. I mean, I say older. I don't know how to gauge that, but a lot of the older ones are string inverters, and the idea is if you put the shadow of a business card on one module in that string, that whole string sees it.
Right.
Yep.
So it drops just like one panel in a string getting shade will drop current and production on that string.
And you'd say you probably get called out a lot on things where shade's an issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot, but
Trees
shade's
do-
always an issue.
Trees grow.
Yeah.
Trees do grow.
For a green company, we hate trees. Yeah.
Let's edit that one out.
That one's coming out.
Come on.
Can we get shirts that say "For a green company, we hate trees"?
We do. Shade's bad.
Shade is bad.
So yes, we are a renewables company.
Yeah.
But
Now we're a landscaping
trees
company.
can also be our enemy,
Yeah.
as you so Eloquently said. On the service team, so on your team, not the team in-house, what's the average length of service? How long you guys been there? I know you've been there 14 years. How about your team? Are they pretty experienced? Been there on a long time?
Yeah, they were in different departments when I brought them over, but yeah, they're very experienced. And I would say my guys probably know a lot more than any of the installers. Well, we know what goes, we know what breaks.
It's a different skill set.
Yeah.
You have to almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like we've gone over everything in your service department, all the things that you offer. Residential customers, you work for our commercial customers, you do a lot of work for other companies that are not here anymore or national companies. So you guys are a full service company.
Yeah.
The fact that I think the one thing that people need to look into is the fact that you basically offer O&M stuff for residential as well. So
yeah, the one thing I did forget to bring up, a lot of people call us with off-grid systems. We're not well versed on off-grid.
Yeah, we really
like
mess with
old,
those, right?
Old systems.
Yeah.
They have like a lot of times someone themselves built it. And you're like, we went to one, it was way north, and my guy gets up, he's like, I don't even know what I'm looking at, dude. I'm like, just go.
There's
turn
car
around,
batteries everywhere.
Get in your truck and just come back, dude.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be a good point. Is we don't sell off grid and we don't service off grid.
Yeah.
So
No.
stay away from that stuff.
They've set me on a couple. I've been able to get like some Sunny Islands working on trailers or something, but that was the last one. I said no more.
Okay, so good to know. All right, well, very enlightening.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting.
We've taught each other things.
We have. So thanks, Larry, for joining us. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you. What's next, Ralph?
We'll see.
We'll see. Viewers, if you are watching this, make sure you like and subscribe. And if
Yeah.
you have other ideas for podcasts, let us know.
And we do have some good ideas of some stuff that we can bring up here soon. So we'll look at doing something different here.
And if you want to get somebody better than Ben, I'll do this.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So we might be looking for a new Mr. Everything.
I'm
We'll
putting
see.
in my 2 weeks
I
now.
think I would fit the title a little bit better.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
debatable.
Anyway, so thanks for spending time with us and joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.